Perfect. All right, CJ, your prompt is... Yep. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I actually have a topic I want to talk about. Ken, when you're sitting down at home to have some ice cream, what are you using to eat the ice cream? What are you putting it in?
My bare claws?
Just going
what are you
fist
talking,
first?
Like, what do you mean? Like, is the answer not a spoon for everyone? What do you mean?
What are you putting the ice cream inside?
Oh, inside of my mouth. Hold on one second. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your host, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ.
I'm expecting like a bowl or something. I think that would be a normal response.
Hold on.
Hi, CJ.
This is the show where we talk about TV shows and movies. It's chosen by our guests, but it's just the boys this week, so we're going to talk about ice cream some more. So
yes,
look,
it's been a really your GD mind.
It's been a really weird month for us on this podcast. We've gotten people who we wouldn't normally get on, and we're still, I don't know, we did Skull Wizards. It's been all over the place, so it's time to recenter.
Resetting with the boys.
Take some boys time, and just take a little break from that, and talk about ice cream. So, CJ, I usually eat straight out of a pint.
Oh, okay. Not even putting it in a bowl.
No, I usually split that across 2 sittings, a little pint of ice cream.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So you're doing personal pints.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you do?
I use a mug.
Oh, well, actually, that's smart because the handle will keep it from getting warm from your hand.
And your hand doesn't get cold from holding it.
Yeah.
And you have higher walls to scoop the ice cream with. It's easier to get your spoon in there to get more ice cream.
Now,
it's a game
how much
changer.
ice cream can you really get in a mug, though?
Oh,
Is
easily
a
half
mug?
a pint. If that's what you're doing,
Really?
a half a pint? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Typical 12-ounce mug, something like that. You can fit half a pint of ice cream in there.
Do you have to pack it down or no? It just fits.
It fits.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Or, get a bigger mug.
Now, what's your go-to ice cream?
Mugs? Some Ben & Jerry's. I usually like half-baked. I love little bits of brownies or cookie doughs. Especially then you get the texture contrast. Fish Food's another good one. Stephen Colbert's Americone Dream. But I think half-baked is probably still top tier.
Okay.
What about you?
Haagen-Dazs chocolate.
Just chocolate.
Hey, look, it's better than just vanilla if you know me. That's what a lot of people probably think I just eat. But yeah, just chocolate. I don't know, man. I don't want to be crunching on some chocolate chips even. It's when they're cold, it's not the same consistency as when you just normally eat chocolate. So I don't want that. And then I don't know, I just want all this fancy flashy stuff in my ice cream, man. I just want the ice cream.
I don't think Ben & Jerry's has ever been described as flashy ice cream.
Flashy, over-the-top ice cream.
Or Jenny's Texas Sheet Cake, which is dairy-free.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah.
It is.
I would mess with that. I also, my other one, if I don't get, the little pints, sometimes I'll get what used to be the Mint Melt-Away ice cream. Now I think it's Windy City Fudge is what they call it by Dean's. But, yeah, it's like a Mint Melt-Away in ice cream form. That chocolate in that is good.
What do you mean by mint melt away? Just
have you ever had a mint melt away?
Surrounded by chocolate?
You know what a mint melt away is?
No.
You don't know what a mint melt away is? It's by Fannie Mae. It's I don't know.
Oh.
It's like a standalone chocolate, but they make it into an ice cream form. Although I think they lost the branding, so now it's called something different.
Okay.
But yeah, it's mint ice cream with chocolate fudge swirls. And it's very good.
That sounds really good. No, yeah. I Googled it. I have had these. I'm a big fan of Fannie Mae's. Anything mint related.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, next time, Ken, you're going for the ice cream, put it in the mug. You got a little handle to hold on so your hand's not getting cold.
See, the problem is though, then you're scooping twice. Why not just scoop once directly into mouth? I don't like.
Well, I guess in my household we share the pint of ice cream, so we're scooping it out anyway. But
Meg and I have different tastes in ice cream. Well, actually, she's not even really eating ice cream right now, anyway. So, although we just recently started getting ice cream sandwiches, she is eating those.
I haven't had one of those in forever.
With the real cookie on both sides.
Oh,
yeah,
it's like a Toll House one.
Yes, Toll House branded ice cream cookies.
And Ken, yet again, we're recording right before dinner. I am starving now. Gonna have some ice cream tonight. I got a half a pint of Ben & Jerry's waiting for me in the freezer.
There you go. Well, look, we gotta move on. because even though we're taking some boys' time, we still got to talk about TV shows and movies.
That's right, Ken. I have one question for you.
Okay.
What you been watching?
Oh, man, I haven't really been watching a whole lot lately.
Liar.
Well, it's true. I mean, I usually watch, like, really honestly, all I've been watching is Friends. Like, we watch Friends when we eat dinner. And that's like the one thing, aside from, I guess, Taskmaster,
Hell
that
yeah.
I've been watching.
That's right, people. He's come around to it.
I've come around to it. I don't know if I've talked about it on the show yet, but yeah, we used to watch just the tasks on YouTube. And it seems like they've only pulled for maybe like 5 or 6 seasons for these like individual task videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And once I realized that, we actually ended up watching the latest season, like the full episodes.
Because they're on YouTube.
It's all on YouTube.
For free.
Yeah, and we have YouTube Premium, so don't even have to worry about ads. And then we were like, all right, let's start going back. So we're watching the season before that, which is not very good. Or at least up to the quality of the rest of them. It's still enjoyable, but it's fine. But it seems, I don't know, you can tell me if this is true or false. Different seasons are kind of hit or miss with the quality of contestant.
Yes. Obviously it's a big dependency on the contestants. If you're not a fan of them, it's hard to then enjoy the task they're in and stuff like that. That kind of make or breaks the show. Yeah, I would say certain seasons are better than the others based on who's on it. But I would say watch yourself with this Taskmaster slander. I will not have it. It's still an amazing show.
Okay. Of course. Yes. This is the one who has on his mantle, I believe, what is supposed to be a replica of the trophy from Taskmaster. Is that correct?
That is very true, because we played the Taskmaster like Christmas. I want to call it a board game, but there's no board involved. But we fully played Taskmaster at our house. There was like a whole kit you can get, and it actually gives you tasks that you can do in your house.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
And that's what came with it.
So, I mean, that's really what I'm watching. But I mean, like, I want to say a movie. So I watched Joe Bob, which I think we've talked about on the show before. And you ended up watching part of an episode, but Joe Bob's Last Drive-In.
Oh, yeah. But that's not the movie, right?
No, that's not the movie.
That's
but that is now every other Friday for us. So the latest one that I watched, Donnie Darko, was the last real thing I watched. Which, yeah, like when he first said it was Donnie Darko, I was like, is that even a horror movie? But yeah, I guess it is, right? Like,
it's pretty freaky.
People die. There's that creepy bunny. Like,
spoilers.
Yeah, people die is a spoiler.
No, the creepy bunny.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm just kidding. It's been out for like 2 decades. You could spoil it.
But yeah, I mean, the reason I actually enjoy watching the Joe Bob stuff is because, I mean, you do learn a lot more about the movie just by watching it. And plus it feels like kind of an event since it's every other Friday. So yeah, I learned a ton about Donnie Darko. I could probably talk about that for a full episode, but I won't. But yeah, it was cool to see it again. Meg had seen it for the first time as part of that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised she hadn't seen it before, and she enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't want to say too much more in case people haven't seen it and it would potentially spoil it. But Jake Gyllenhaal, I think we talked about it last week on the podcast. So
he's a child.
It's good.
He's a little baby.
Yeah, it's one of his earliest roles. And his sister's in it, playing his sister. Just
smart.
Really cool.
Good casting. Does it hold up?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. The whole Joe Bob thing, he was talking about how when the movie first came out, it aired at Sundance, and there was like a ton of buzz around it. And when people actually watched it for the first time, it was like universally panned. Like, people hated it.
Really?
And then a distributor picked it up and tried to, I think, change some of the editing, and then they shopped it around to theaters. And theaters were also like, yeah, I think the Sundance people were right. And they like forced it into a very limited theater release because they're like, no, the youth is going to like it, which apparently is true because we were very young when we first watched it probably. And it only really got successful when it started being released on DVD and in the home video market and like rentals and things like that, probably because of the cover was pretty freaky. But I mean, yeah, it's got a ton of people in it. It's a good movie. I don't know. I think it's just a good movie personally. It is a little confusing if you haven't seen it in a while. I remember being confused about it before, and it is still kind of like, it's a weird movie.
Definitely weird.
But yeah, that's the latest thing I watched. I got a couple other things, but what have you been watching?
Well, I know you wanted to talk about this. I finally watched Godzilla X Kong.
Yeah. I brought this up on our last What You Been Watching episode.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was fine.
Yeah.
I did enjoy getting to see more of the world according to Kong, if you will. Like,
Sure.
that was kind of cool. It is weird that a big chunk of the movie is just like there's no human words being said. I did not remember any of the characters involved, like all of the people and the references they were making. I was like, oh, did that happen? I don't remember any of that.
I didn't remember any of that either. It probably didn't matter because the humans are very secondary in this movie. But
yeah,
like the whole thing with the little girl who can actually communicate with Kong and all that stuff. And I'd totally forgotten all of that. Yeah. I wasn't even sure if those people were in the previous movie until halfway through it.
Yeah, no clue. All of that like exposition up top, I was like, sure, I guess that happened. I don't remember any of it or who any of you are, but okay. I believe you.
And the previous movie wasn't good enough for me to go back and rewatch it before this. So I don't know. It didn't matter.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was fine. I threw it on while I was doing other stuff. It was just something to do. So it definitely did not get my full attention, which I think is kind of the right way to watch the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember if I talked about this one. I talked about it last time, but when we watched it, we actually went to a dine-in theater. So we got like lunch and then sat down and watched it. So I also didn't really get my full attention. And also, I think I mentioned we accidentally went to a showing that had the subtitles on screen the whole time.
That's right, yeah.
Bothered me a bit, but I don't know. Anyway, it was fine. It was kind of dumb though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I mentioned this last time, but like, one of the reviews I read on Letterboxd was like, next time I'm looking forward to them just straight up giving King Kong a gun in the next, like, for sure that's where it's going, right? Like with the mechanical arm and everything.
Yeah. What was your attention focused on? A hot dog? What were you having for lunch?
Chicken tendies.
Nice.
Yeah.
And French fries?
Gotta.
How were the French fries?
All of it was bad.
Got it.
Yeah, this is dine-in AMC. It was not great, but
yeah, something tells me they're probably just like grabbing it straight from the freezer, nuking it, and then handing it over to you.
100%. And it came so late in the movie. Like, it was supposed to come like right at the beginning, and it wasn't until like, I don't know, 45 minutes into the movie where I'm thinking like, should I get up and go and ask? When I'm like, I don't want to leave the movie. Finally, it came. It was still hot at least, but like, Christ, man, I don't know. The whole
shouldn't
thing
have taken
it was
40 minutes for chicken tendies.
For them to press the 3-minute button on the microwave.
Right, yeah. Speaking of food at the movie theaters, did you see, I believe Sony Pictures is going to buy Alamo Draft Houses?
I did not see that, no.
Yeah.
There's one in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that's the case.
Sony is buying Alamo Draft House. That's probably not good. I'm actually thinking that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Because Alamo Draft House was like, its own thing. And they were, they had like real butter on their popcorn and like it was a whole like nice package. And now a big corporation's coming in to buy it out, probably cut some corners, make it profitable. Ugh.
Yeah. Not just butter on your popcorn, unlimited popcorn.
Oh, really?
Yes. And you get a metal bowl, not like a plastic bucket. They just give it to you in a bowl.
Huh.
It was good popcorn.
Yeah, I've only been to it like once or twice. I remember, popcorn being very good. And the overall viewing experience being very good.
Yeah.
I'm sure everything won't change right away, but yeah, I'm not optimistic about that. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Sony Pictures acquires Alamo Drafthouse Cinema.
Okay. Well, good for Sony.
Yeah, they need a win. Look at us talking about movies and movie news. You learned something.
Wow, yeah, we're actually relevant for once. Unfortunately, this is coming out probably weeks after that news article.
Yeah, it's fine. No one knows it.
The other thing that probably sucks is they're probably not going to do like art house films or anything anymore, right? Like it's probably just going to be Sony stuff, right?
This I swear was a like there was some lawsuit decades ago because that used to be the case where studios owned the theaters and so they would only show their own movies. And then finally, I think it was like the government had to step in and be like, no, you can't do that. You got to show like other competitors. That's like some antitrust thing maybe or something. I don't know. I don't fact check me on any of this, but that used to be the case, was like the movie production companies owned the theaters and therefore only showed their own stuff.
Wow. Interesting. Well, yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion around that going forward. Be curious to see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's only good news when giant conglomerates buy up companies.
Absolutely. Something else I've been watching. Let's see. Want to hear about a horror movie? I watched a creepy spider horror movie called Sting that came out this year.
That's not the Nick Cage one, right?
No, it is not the Nick Cage one.
Have you watched the Nick Cage one yet? Daddy Longlegs or whatever?
Longlegs, I don't believe is out yet.
Oh.
At least at time of recording. But should be coming out soon.
Oh, July 12th.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks.
So looking forward to that. That's supposed to be very good. But no, this is no one we know is in it. Yep, literally no one. But yeah, there's this creepy this isn't giving anything away because it's the first minute of the movie, but an alien thing blasts through from outer space into an apartment building, and it turns out to be a little spider. But this little spider doesn't stay little for very long.
Uh-oh.
It's probably a great way to describe the movie. So yeah, that's kind of it. A little girl kind of adopts a spider, and honestly, the vast majority of the movie is kind of like a family drama. But also this little girl has a creepy little spider that she keeps in a jar that doesn't stay in the jar forever. I don't know. It's fine. It could have been better. The family stuff was kind of wore on me after a while, but if you don't like spiders, you won't like this movie.
I mean, do people usually like spiders?
I love spiders. They kill the other bugs.
You love spiders?
Yeah, they kill the other bugs. Spiders everywhere. In my mouth while I'm sleeping.
Gross.
Yeah, there's been two spider movies that were released like the early part of this year, which is really strange. Sting, this one, and there was I think it was a French movie called Infested that I'm saving for October viewing. But that one is supposed to be very good. I think better than Sting from what I hear. So if you're looking for more spider horror, I got you covered.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Pass.
What else have you been watching, Siege?
I've been watching the movie The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Now that is the sequel to the Extraordinary League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I fucked it up. You know, it's not the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen sequel.
It's not. It's Guy Ritchie's latest movie.
Okay.
You know him from Lock, Stock 'Em and Two Smoking Barrels, the Netflix show The Gentleman, Operation Fortune, one of the movies we mentioned, starring Jason Statham, where I said that one was better than The Beekeeper. He has a Netflix show called The
Gentleman, and then he also has this thing that's also got gentleman, and he just likes the word gentleman.
Well, The Gentleman was also a movie first. He did that first.
Okay.
Then this past year, he put out the Netflix series, and then now it's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Are any of those related?
The Gentleman and The Gentleman are related.
Or is this TV show a sequel or a remake?
I think maybe they're not related. I've seen both of them. Maybe it takes place in the same sort of universe, but no, I don't think any of the same characters are the same.
Interesting. Anyway, go ahead and talk about the one that you actually watched.
It stars Superman.
Ooh, Superman.
Yeah.
Nick Cage.
That's right. No, Henry Cavill. It's basically, the premise is like, it takes place in World War II, and it claims to be based on like a true story. Like some of these people actually are real names that served in World War II. Basically, this kind of like secret mission that only a few people in the British government knew about, and they're trying to go and basically like blow up a German boat to save World War II.
Huh. Okay.
So it's a lot of action and violence. You know, the typical movies I throw on.
Yeah. Checks out.
Yep. Entertaining because there's a lot of action and violence. Plot-wise, that's fine.
Okay. I mean, did you actually sit down to watch it, or was this another like you have it on in the background and maybe didn't catch everything?
I put it on while I was working out.
Well, okay.
Did I make it through? I may have actually finished it in one sitting too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for you.
Yeah.
What percentage of movies do you think you actually make it through in one sitting?
It depends. Because
What
maybe
percentage?
half.
It depends. What is no? It's a percentage.
I don't know, half probably.
Okay.
Because look,
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't think I actually like these movies, but I can't stop watching them.
Well, they're just easy viewing, right?
Yeah, I'm just like fascinated with the action genre because I think they're entertaining enough, but they're rarely gonna like blow you away. So therefore, I don't think they deserve my full attention.
Well, you said this off the air, but just seeing ripped guys on the screen really like revs you up, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly. Especially when you're working out. How do I look like that guy? I gotta keep pumping iron.
that's right. Yeah.
I want to be Superman. It stars Superman and Reacher.
Oh, Reacher. Oh my God. We were just talking about Blue Mountain State, trying to get Meg to watch it. We had a friend of the show, Cameron, over. For some reason, Blue Mountain State came up, and we were trying to describe it.
Good luck.
And she was like, "Is it?" Because I was like, "It's like toxic masculinity to the max." And she's like, "Is it as bad as Entourage?" And I was like, "No, it's like way worse than Entourage." I'm like almost 100% positive it's like way worse than Entourage because like it leans into it because that's part of the comedy of it.
I would say it's therefore like better than Entourage because it is self-aware. That's a funny show from what I remember. Haven't watched it.
I remember it being very funny, but also I think if you were to watch it today's day and age, especially as a female, you may not enjoy it.
Yeah. But I would say it's trying to be a comedy. Like they've written jokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
100% is trying to be a comedy.
So
And
that's why I would say it's better than Entourage, where Entourage is trying to be like a serious show, and you're like, this sucks.
Well, I think Entourage is a more flat it is a comedy, but it's also not 100% just balls to the wall trying to push the envelope of what can they get away with kind of comedy that Blue Mountain State is. But I don't know. Yeah, we're not here to talk about Blue Mountain State.
For those that don't know, that same actor that is now Reacher stars as Thad Castle in Blue Mountain State.
And also he's Little Nobody, or no, Replacement Nobody in the Fast universe. He was in Fast X.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Ames.
That's right. He took over when Mr. Nobody was just not in the movie for some reason.
Wait, also, he voices Raphael in some of the TMNT movies? Whoa.
That probably checks out.
Did not know that.
That's funny.
Johnny Knoxville was Leonardo? I saw these movies. I don't remember any of this. Wild.
All right, I got another one that we both can probably talk about. I watched Dune and Dune 2.
Okay.
Or Dune Part 2.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Rewatching. Let me start with Dune because I rewatched Dune because I felt like I needed to.
Yeah.
Forgot how little Zendaya is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Very exposition heavy, but it really helped to rewatch it because I for sure didn't understand what was happening the first time I watched it. Okay, so Dune Part 2 was good to the point where I enjoyed it, but I don't know, man. I wanted it to be more of the like Messiah thing that they were kind of going for, and
yeah,
he just I don't know. And I wanted to like be rooting for him, but they really just didn't let you get there, and it was kind of strange. I don't know. What did you think of it?
Look, I know this is the most original complaint, but I really did feel like it did not need to be 3 hours long. Like there were parts of the movie where I was like, it is really kind of slowed down. This feels slow. And I want to get back to like the story or action or something.
Yeah.
I also watched Dune and then in the next couple weeks watched Part 2 and walked away from it being like, I don't get why people loved this. I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, the whole time watching it was wondering like why people were coming away from this raving about it. Like it's a good movie. Like it's enjoyable.
It's
but
entertaining.
Also, I mean, I've seen the whole Dune thing before. Like I watched the Why
David
am I
Lynch?
blanking on his name? Yeah, the David Lynch version, and that was good too. But I think they did a good job of, and I think this is probably why it was so long. But they really took the time to explain what was happening. I think
Yeah.
it could have been a lot more confusing if they had kind of went at a more, balls to the wall action end to end route. So, I fully understood what was happening by the end, which was great.
That's always good.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very long.
Okay, I also want to talk about one part in Dune Part 2. This is not like a giant spoiler. It's when Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet are talking, and Timothée Chalamet is asking her about her name, and she says some name, and he's like, "Oh, I like that." She's like, "I hate it." And he's like, "Well, what would you rather go by?" So her name is Chani.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched this movie, for the entire movie, I thought she said she wanted her name to be Johnny.
Johnny.
Just like a normal, like American name. I was like, what? And then like rewound it, played it again, but did not turn subtitles on, which would have been the smart thing to do. But I was like, so the name Johnny exists in the Dune universe? And that took me out of the movie a little bit.
I mean, I get why they put that in there, like plot wise, right? Because it comes up again later. And it's all like, that's something that wouldn't have been in a movie. That whole plot point wouldn't have been in a normal movie. It's only because that was like a plot point in the book, and they're trying to cram as much of the book into it.
Yeah,
I get it, but yeah, the name. I almost thought it was Johnny at first too, but then they said it again. I was like, all right, it's Johnny. But...
Still heard Johnny the entire movie.
God, I did look up. They could potentially make a part 3. They probably will, based on how successful part 2 was. But they're moving into, I think, the 3rd or 4th book in the series, which apparently I read what happens, and I won't repeat it because I don't remember it all, but it's pretty crazy. And then I also read kind of where the series goes, and it's insane what happens in the Dune series after this. So I would love if they continued it. I think it'd be wild, and I think it would totally turn everyone off of the series. But yeah, I hope they make part 3. That'd be cool.
They're gonna make a Dune show.
The yes, that's right. I forget what that covers.
Dune Prophecy. Says 2024.
Yeah, I think it's coming out on HBO Max.
Yeah, it'll be a Max show. Huh.
Dune Prophecy. What does that cover?
Because it doesn't have any of the same like. It has some Harkonnen people in it. Just looking at the cast, but like none of the same. Actors.
It's a prequel to Dune.
Oh. Okay.
Which is based on a book of the same name.
Gotcha.
By the same author. 10,000 years before the events of Dune.
Cool.
So, good luck.
See, yeah, here's the thing. I say that, I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yeah, 100% watching it.
Just like I'm absolutely going to watch Dune Part 3. Yeah. Probably feel the
Although
same.
I probably will need to rewatch Dune 1 and 2. I remember maybe not. Maybe this will be one where I like watch one of those YouTube videos that summarizes
just recaps.
That's 6 hours of my life.
Yeah.
Just to watch another 3-hour movie.
Or read a summary on IMDb where it's like 2 sentences. We're like, all right, that's what happened.
Plus, I mean, they kind of left it at a pretty good breaking point at the end of Dune Part 2. So
yeah.
But man, the book series, just to touch on what I read, but like eventually it jumps 10,000 years into the future where they have clones of the previous people from Dune, and it's like clones become a big thing. So like it doesn't really matter what time period it's in. It's like the same people, but like I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
Weird.
Yeah. You watch anything else?
I watched season 3, finished it, of Hacks. And no, I'm not talking about how people refer to this podcast.
Not anymore. What the hell's Hacks?
It's on Max.
Hacks on Max?
Hacks on Max, baby. All 3 seasons.
Oh,
starring Hannah Einbinder and Gene Smart.
Hannah Einbinder. Holy cow.
Gene Smart plays a sort of an elder stand-up comedian. She's one of the comedians that has like a Vegas show. So she's basically just doing the same set over and over and over and over again. Filthy rich, lives in Las Vegas. Hannah Einbinder's character, Ava, young comedian, writer, sort of gets kind of canceled on Twitter, so her job options are limited. So she gets set up with Gene Smart's character to start writing material for Gene Smart. A relationship happens, hilarity ensues. It's both you've got like the relationships of the characters and the drama that make you want to watch the next episode, and I laugh out loud many, many times throughout the show. It's also really funny and well written.
Dang, nice. I actually do remember seeing this. I get random ads on the Apple TV, and I remember seeing that pop up. So cool. I'm going to have to check that out.
It's really good. I also got to see, Emily and I saw Hannah Einbinder perform stand-up at the Den Theater, and it was really funny.
Cool. We'll probably get to this at some point. But I think next up for Meg and I, The Boys Season 3 is coming out soon.
Ooh.
And we haven't watched Gen V yet, so we're going to watch Gen V.
I've watched Gen V, yeah. It's good.
Yeah, I've heard it's good, which is crazy for a spinoff show. Usually that is not the case.
Yeah,
but,
no.
I'm looking forward to it.
Just as intense, just as violent, like all of this. It feels exactly like The Boys. It's great.
Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The only other one that I wanted to talk about as part of this was I've been watching the 90s X-Men show in preparation for X-Men 97.
Yeah, baby.
And I think I've talked about it before, but like I'm following this like chronological guide that also has the Spider-Man show in it, because I also like the Spider-Man show, and I don't know, I just want to watch both of them. And I hear that potentially he could be making an appearance in the new show, but so I'm like, yeah, absolutely, let's get caught up in both, and then I'll be like prepped as hell for the show, because I never finished the real series when I was watching it when I was younger, and I mean that was who knows how many years ago. Anyway,
50 years ago.
I know CG did the same, except with just the X-Men show.
Yeah, watched all 5 seasons.
Burnt out, man. I am burnt out.
I was watching them at like 1.8 times the speed.
They're not great. Or some are okay, some are good, but
some are good and some are bad.
Yeah, I've been watching them like in the morning when I have like my bowl of cereal before work, just to like get a 20-minute one in.
Yeah.
But man, like this week, I haven't been able to bring myself to watch another episode just because I'm like, it helps switching between the two shows at least. So like I'm not burnt out on just X-Men and then I switch over to Spider-Man, but yeah, they're really not that different. No. I don't know. It's been a lot, and I just want to get through it. I'm probably halfway through it at this point, maybe more. But so I guess my question for you is, and this probably isn't going to affect what I do, but having watched all of the X-Men series, and then now you have watched X-Men 97, without any spoilers for X-Men 97, is it worth it to watch the whole series before?
I would say just watch season 5. Just watch the last season, and then you're probably good.
Now, here's the other factor. I am also reading the X-Men series, like the Krakoa era, which is good, but also burnt out because it's just too much X-Men, man. It's just way too much X-Men.
No such thing again.
I will say, and we discussed this a little bit before, watching the old X-Men shows really is probably a good primer for the X-Men comics that I'm reading, because I haven't been reading X-Men the whole time, and I'm not familiar with a lot of the concepts and people and places that they reference in the newer stuff. And the show really does a good job of introducing those people, places, and things. So it's nice watching it through and being like, oh, okay, yeah, the Mojoverse is a thing, and that makes sense that it was introduced this way, and it's different now, and yada yada yada.
Man, also the amount of self-control I enacted when our guests on the Chaser episode brought up X-Men. I was just sitting there being like, oh, I want to dive into that.
They brought up X-Men?
Yeah, naturally. Man. We did not prompt them. They referenced it because an actor plays Iceman. This was before
the question I had about Days of Futures Past?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh, okay.
He was referencing an actor that played Iceman in one of the movies.
Oh, okay. He was off.
I was like,
yes.
Okay. You mean Bobby Drake, the Iceman? Oh, I'm familiar.
God.
Ken, you got to get on it because X-Men 97 fucking rules. It is so good. I keep hearing that too.
It's got to be like different than the old show then,
it is.
Right?
It's so much better.
Okay. Okay.
There's like one, maybe 2 episodes that I was like, this is fine. But like the season ends with like 4 episode arc where all those episodes are like adding to each other and building, and it's awesome.
All right.
Hurry up.
It's going to take me a bit because I am going to finish what I'm doing.
Why?
Because I hate myself. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right, cool. Where can people find us?
You can follow us on all of the things at Overtalking Pod. Go to our website, overtalkingpod.party. We can type in content, media, a show, a movie, see if we've covered it on the show before. Email us at overtalkingpod@gmail.com.
Oh no, they're here. It's the Overtalking Overlords. They're here to remind me to remind you. If you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you. And rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify where applicable. Reviews will help people find this podcast. I did it backwards, but it's okay. It doesn't need to be the same every time. Spending no money in advertising, and that's it. Do all the things. I think I probably said something twice. It doesn't matter.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week it was just the boys. Music by Justin Peters, logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.